Money's no longer the villain in my money story.
I love that.
Sometimes
Super
we make
important.
it the villain, sometimes we make it the hero. And really, we want to see ourselves. We are the heroes in this story. And what is the next steps that we need to take in order to be friends with money? What if money wasn't the obstacle in our way, but what if money was actually trying to help us grow and learn and navigate this crazy life?
What if the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? What lies within you is the power to live brighter, bolder, and truer than ever before. So welcome to Vivatude, where caregiving, connections, and career come into balance, and where your vitality, vision, and voice shines through. Because the revolution isn't out there, it's already within you. Welcome to Vivatude.
We are back on Vivatude with my guest, Kate Phillips. She is our Vivatude co-host on financial and occupational wellness. And Kate, we are talking today about our money stories and how we can break through limiting beliefs and have more of an abundance mindset as opposed to a scarcity mindset and become more empowered with our money. I would love to hear the story of how you came to that conclusion and how you transitioned from being that starving artist that you said you were in your younger years to where you are today, a money coach. How did all that happen?
Got it. Well, a main thing that happened is my main money story got completely challenged and wiped out. I had a money story for much of my younger life that money isn't important. It's just not that important. We ought to be concerning ourselves with the higher things, spirituality. And believe me, I am not mocking spirituality or anything like that. Those absolutely are priorities and values. But when my ex and we had a business together, and when that business ended, when the marriage ended, when all of a sudden I had no idea how I was going to pay my mortgage, and I was a single mom of a young daughter, I realized this money thing, it's actually pretty important. And it would be really nice if I, had this figured out. And I knew it was my responsibility as a parent to get it figured out as well. And I realized that the story that money isn't important, that whole story can only exist in privilege. That really, that is, only when your needs are taken care of can you be so privileged to say money isn't important. And I had this huge mindset shift over the years. That was maybe the start of it, but over the next several years, I had a huge shift in realizing that I had gone from kind of this myth, I call it, that life would just be so grand if I didn't have to worry about money. If money just showed up, just a big chunk of it, nice check, big deposit every month in my account, didn't have to worry about it, do anything for it, that would be perfect. But what I realized is that we're all here to learn and grow. We have this soul mission on the planet, and yours is a little different from mine, but we're all here to learn and grow. And challenges are put in front of us to help us transform. And sometimes we take on challenges willingly. You might take on the challenge of running a marathon or doing a triathlon, getting married, that's a challenge, relationships, and starting a business. Right now, we're in the challenge called launching this new brand called Vivatude and supporting sandwich generation women who are oftentimes caregivers or advocates. So we're giving ourselves this challenge. And money is one of those challenges. And we can resist it. We can say, ooh, I wish I didn't have to deal with this thing. We can be money monks. I'm just a little too good for my money. Uh, or we can say, what what is money trying to teach me? What can it teach us? And money has taught me so many things. And look at your own life. I'm sure for all of us, for people listening, that money helps teach us discipline. It teaches us. It maybe teaches us to pay attention, to track things. Either you're going to pay attention or you're going to pay with pain. It
Hmm.
teaches us generosity. It teaches us how to give at a deeper level when we want to activate that cycle of giving and receiving. So those are just examples. So I now money's no longer the villain in my money story.
I love that.
Sometimes
Super
we make
important.
it the villain, sometimes we make it the hero. And really, we want to see ourselves. We are the heroes in this story. And what is the next steps that we need to take in order to be friends with money? What if money wasn't the obstacle in our way, but what if money was actually trying to help us grow and learn and navigate this crazy life?
What a concept. I love that. It reminds me of one of my colleagues who is a spiritual worker, a healer. She does just amazing work and was in a similar position. And she said, just it was not much more than a year ago. And she said, I just dedicated myself that I'm going to learn the skills that I need to learn about money. And she read 15 books and over the course of a year has completely changed her relationship with money and is now stepping up to a new level of what she can serve and how she can serve in the world. So it is important for our foundation. So yeah, tell us more.
Absolutely. And I had a life-changing experience as well that, impacted my money, my time, absolutely everything, my family. And that was when I became my father's caregiver. And at this point, I had already just launched my financial coaching business. I had just bought my dream home. I just felt like I was the woman who had money all figured out, and then I didn't. Then the Great Recession hit. Then all of my investments. I was a real estate investor. I had 4 properties, and in a period of not very many months, all of the sudden, I owed more on those properties than they were worth because of the crash in the housing market. And then when you think everything's really challenging, then I get a phone call that my father is in the ICU in Denver, and that started a long process of helping him. He could no longer live independently. He had a number of surgeries and health things to work out. And long story short, I moved him in with me to get him out of Denver, to get him closer to family, and that was its own challenge. I ended up I ended up, Lauren, in foreclosure. I ended up losing literally everything. Me, the woman who had everything figured out, and then I didn't. And um, it was one of the most impactful experiences of my life. And it wasn't all bad. The learnings in that experience, sometimes I say is, I've learned as much from my failures as I have from my wins. One of the
Absolutely.
things that I learned was that how much I had come to rely on these external assets. Oh, that's where the value is. It's in the home equity, it's in the brokerage account, it's in the savings account. And so it was the beginning of really a new journey with money and a lot more compassion as well.
Well, we are going to dive even deeper when we come back and how the failures, the dark nights of the soul, those challenges that we face in life can really be the rich, fertile ground from which we have our most profound shifts. So we'll be right back on Vivatude with my guest, Kate Phillips.
And thanks for listening to Vivatude. 4 hosts, 1 each week. We help you revivitude your next chapter because purpose, passion, and prosperity isn't out there. They're already within you. Brighter, bolder, truer. Vivatude.